Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dare to Share with Mistie Layne. I am your host, Mistie Layne. I'm a best-selling author of the book, What Goes Up. If you want to get a copy of the book, it's a story of my life. There's a lot of self-help in here, specifically a chapter, Cope Equals Hope, is a 4-step method that can show you how you can use writing to release toxic shame and guilt. So if you're interested in finding that book, you can go to my website, Mistie Layne at mistielayne.com, or you can buy it at any of the bookstores, Walmart, Target, Amazon, any of those. Thank you so much for being here and joining me tonight. We have an amazing guest coming on board. Patrick Dickerson is someone that I actually have known for a couple of years now, and he is super funny. He's actually a comedian. He's got a story to talk to us about around divorce and some things that he went through and how he discovered his love for comedy and what he's doing with his life in a positive way now. But before we bring him on, we have to take care of all the housekeeping things. The first thing I ask you to do at every show is to share this out because it's really important. The platform of the show, Dare to Share, is so that people can step up and be that one to share their raw, authentic truth, to share the life adversity they've gone through, good and bad, so that other people can learn to be aware of situations. We can become educated by their stories, and hopefully we can start judging less and mentoring more in the world. So share it out because you never know what Patrick might say tonight that may, light a spark under somebody that might be going through something similar. Also, I ask that you go to my Facebook page and join the private group, #BeThatOne. It's a private group. We're going to be doing writing exercises. Everything in there is going to be free. No charges, not a lot of promotion or anything going on in there. It's just a group of people that are transparent, that talk about life and life's occurrences and motivation and inspiration. All right. And one more thing is if you want to be a guest on the Dare to Share show, you need to type the word guest in the subject line and send it to Mistie Layne at mistielayne.com. All right. And the last thing we're going to talk about, the most important thing we're going to talk about is my sponsors. This show is powered by sponsors. If you would like to become a sponsor on the show, again, you can email Mistie Layne at mistielayne.com and type the word sponsor, or you can direct message me. There's all kinds of ways to get in touch with me. It's just pretty much Mistie Layne across the board. So you can find me pretty much anywhere. So I encourage you to do that. The sponsors are what powers the show. So we do ask that you give them some time to look at their products, visit their website, text them, just get information about what they have to offer you. All right, we're going to welcome on Miss Carolyn. Hello, Carol. Thank you for always being here for me. I really appreciate your support. And Linda, too. I love you, Linda. Hey, Billy, my brother. I miss you, my friend. Wanda Reynolds. She is actually one of our sponsors. And Carolyn says she's already shared it. Thank you, Carolyn. Love you guys so much. All right, so without further ado, let's take a look at these sponsors and see what all they have to offer us. Today's show is sponsored by Simple Changes from Wanda Reynolds. Make a simple change today for a healthier tomorrow with products like Simply Satisfy, which aids in gut digestion and curbs your appetite. Mental wellness is directly related to gut health, so keep a happy gut with Simply Satisfy. Then there's Simply Soothe. It helps relax your sore muscles and it supports your overall joint health. Simply Start is made from 100% organic hemp oil. It promotes your calmness, supports sleep, and maintains healthy joints. Contact Wanda Reynolds today through Facebook Messenger or at scdso.com/live life wonderfully. Health provides simple solutions to whole body health. To get and stay healthy, we offer Somaderm HGH Gel. Would you like to sleep like a baby and wake up rested? Do you want to feel maximum benefits from physical exercise? Do you want to burn through that afternoon slump with energy to last well into the night? Well, you can. And you may also experience 25 other whole body improvements with the gel. It's effective, safe, FDA registered, and very affordable. Diane has immuno boosters and keto support products too. Contact Diane Chasik at lifesmilehealth.com or text lifestyle to 64600 today. All right. Thank you for that, my sponsors. Okay, you guys, we're about to bring on the amazing Patrick Dickerson.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, buddy. Awesome. So glad to have you here, Patrick. Thank you so much for stepping up to be that one tonight.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right. So you and I have known each other for quite some time. I think we met during the Next Impactor competition. Is that how we met?
I think so. I think it was either the PAL event or Next Impact. It was one of
Oh,
those
Power
events.
We. Yeah. I
Hmm.
think I did. I think I met you at the first Power We in Chicago. And then Next Impactor was after that. That's right. Yep. And then I know you kind of buddied up with my son. I know he really looks up to you and speaks real highly of you. Y'all spent a little bit of time together. And then I saw you again in February at the author speaker conference that Lauren Michael had put on. And I spoke at that. You were
Hmm.
there too. Yeah. So we see each other a little bit. We share something else in common, which was Hurricane Harvey, and we'll get to that in a little bit too.
Yeah.
But Patrick, first thing I do every show is I like to give you a chance just to kind of take the spotlight and talk about for like 2 or 3 minutes all the fabulous things you're doing, the things you're most proud of, your biggest accomplishments in life, and just kind of let you shine before we start talking about any of the dark stuff. Okay, so take it away,
Okay.
Patrick. Oops.
Well, well, what I'm most proud of is finding the ability to love myself again. When I talk about the dark moments coming up, you'll see why. Um, but loving yourself is very important, especially when adversity comes in your life and all the things that I'm passionate about with comedy, writing jokes, theater, helping the homeless. I feed the homeless here and there. Um, I work in mental health. I trade stock. I'm proud that my family unit is a strong family unit. I come from a strong background. I'm happy that I tackle each goal before I move on to the next, and I don't like get as frustrated as most people. I have a real high tolerance for BS because I've been through a lot, so that's a plus on my side. I'm able to tolerate more. Um, I also I also like my faith. Like I have a faith based in God. I'm not perfect, but that's just I have a faith based in God.
Wow, that's awesome to hear you say you're not perfect because so many of us think that we are,
Hmm.
or at least, we try to convince ourselves that we are, and we're not. Nobody is. So I'm glad to hear you step up and admit that. All right, Patrick. Well, it sounds like you got a lot of great things going on in your life, and I'm glad to hear you put faith up there too. That's something that I don't think we have enough of in this world anymore, personally. But hopefully, we can make that all turn around. Okay, so you're here tonight to share with us about the things that you went through during your divorce and how
Hmm.
your divorce left you. I guess the word lost is how you described it, that you just
Yeah.
had put so much into it. So, we're going to kind of go back a little bit and talk about how old you were when you got married and kind of give us a little bit of details about uh, what led up to the divorce, and we'll get to the divorce, then we'll stop there and then move on after that.
Hmm. Okay. Well, what happened was when I got married, I was 27. I
27.
just turned 27 that year. A lot of people were telling me don't get married, but for me, I don't like to listen to a lot of people while I'm in the relationship. I'll take your feedback, but I feel like me and that person is how hold more weight. Me and my significant other should hold more weight, and I should figure out with her. So I ended up getting married anyway based on love, which I think
Of
you should
course.
get married off of love anyway. And I ended up getting divorced 4 years later. What happened towards that divorce was everything was going smooth. Fresh out of college, found the job, working in my field. I was working at Beacon Therapeutic at the time at the behavioral health day school. So I had two positions that they made up for me actually, and I was making a lot of money at that point. Then I decided to explore the nuances of mental health police officer, which is a
Oh,
CIT officer. So I
okay.
wanted to apply to Houston PD. Applied to Houston. We moved down there. We both was going to work, but she ended up not working, and she ended up leaving me, and I ended up not getting the position fully. I was in the process and everything, almost there. I was like this close as a mustard seed, like
I know what
right
that's like.
there. And
Yeah.
then they ended up letting me go. But it ended up being a blessing in disguise for the long run. But in that moment of time, I was lost. I felt like I lost my best friend. I felt like my world, as you know it, was over at the moment. I lost track of myself. Like I used to be so outgoing into car clubs. I created a car club, actually two of them. I was
Wow.
one of the founders of two car clubs here in Chicago, and Chicago have a big car club scene. And I lost track of that because I put emphasis on working and then playing later versus enjoying the moments and enjoying life then. And everything was like, let me work and then I'll come out later. And everybody was like, man, I never come out, I never do this. But the reason why is because I'm working, I'm thinking I'm building a foundation with someone and I'm trying to set our future up. And it ended up not going that way.
Wow. So after you didn't get the job with the police department, um, she left you, and you told me earlier, you said it was a financial divorce. It was a financial breakup, basically,
Yeah.
right? And that kind of devastated you. So did you stay in Houston or did you move back immediately to Chicago?
I stayed in Houston to push. I don't like giving up on anything. I stayed in
Mhm.
Houston. My mom, she's a doctor, so I talked to her a lot about certain traumas and issues. And I told her about the situation, and she was like praying for me and telling me like, "Well, I need to live life. This is my time to work hard and live life and find your passion, what you're passionate about." And then I got into comedy. I always had a passion of comedy, but I explored it based on doing activities, you know, post divorce, so I can find myself again. So I went out, did comedy. I did spoken word. I did a lot of stuff that I was interested in, and comedy just sticked for me.
Okay, so you said you went out to find your passion. So for
Hmm.
those, hey, looky there, there's El Patrick. Hey, El Patrick.
What's up, bro?
Good to see you here, my friend. Okay, so you said you had to find your passion.
Hmm.
And that's because you felt like you said you put her above everything in your marriage, which
Yeah,
is what you thought you should do. So you were just kind of lost in the background. So this was Patrick's time now, right?
right.
So what advice could you give people out there to how do you even start to find your passion? Did you just start joining different clubs and going around town and seeing what interests you, or did you go talk to somebody
Um,
that kind of helped guide you, or how did that work?
what I did was I talked to my mom, and she ended up telling me to write stuff down on a piece of paper. I remember like it was yesterday. All the fun things I
Excellent.
like to do on a piece of paper, and then explore that. And that's what I did. And that was the best thing ever. And that changed my life at the moment because I was thinking like my world was over. Like I didn't get my dream job. I was feeling so down and out, like I was a failure. You know, I
Mhm.
don't look at divorce as um, something that I wanted. You know, I look at it like, damn, it was another relationship that I, failed on.
Right.
And those failures is what molded me to who I am today. And I grew into a better person today. But at the
Yeah.
moment in time, I was feeling, hurt. I was
Yeah.
feeling pain. And I was like, dang, I failed. And I didn't try to fail. And I did everything in my power to try to keep it together. But, you know, you can only control you. And that's the mindset you have to have too. You can't control the other person to be with you. You can only control you. Um, Always follow your passion. No one is bigger than the marriage. Both of you guys are equal in that marriage. And always stay busy, follow your passions, and also don't lose the respect or the love you have for each other. Always keep the spice going.
Yeah, that's hard to do. Today's world is so crazy that, I have a psychology degree, and I remember learning in college about how we tend to take out our stressors and our fears on the people closest to us because we know they're the safe person. We know they're not going to run off on us, right?
Yeah.
So here you are with your safe person, and your world came tumbling down, and she ran off on you. And what emotions did you go through around that? Like you talked about earlier when we spoke about you didn't want to resent women, you didn't want to hate women because of this, so you had to have
Right.
anger inside, right?
I did have anger, and it was hard. It was hard to not be like, man, women is nothing. You know how
Yeah.
a lot of women they'll post on social media like, men is not this or that, and then you see a lot of men do the same thing. I didn't want that lifestyle because I value people in general, but most importantly, I value women because I have strong women in my family, and by seeing that growing up, that it was hard for me to do that because I saw those women in my family struggle, and I know they're good women. So I didn't want to place blame on all women, and then I didn't want to place blame solely on my ex-wife because I believe like you have to be accountable too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe me working so hard on trying to build stuff and trying to get stuff in the future and not enjoying the moments, maybe that led to it. So you come
Yeah.
to the place of blaming yourself. You get that aspect of it. And then when you get that aspect of it, you go to the emotion of, man, going back to the gist of it all, and you step outside of the box and you look at both parties and be like, well, maybe this person did this, and that allows me to do this, and then we came together and we should have stayed together, but you know, stuff like that happens.
It all happens for a reason too, like you said. Looking
But I
back,
have,
it's probably the best thing.
yeah, it was the best thing. It was a blessing in disguise. That marriage actually helped me push and mold myself even more. Like I was always a hard worker. I was always nice to people, fun loving, and outgoing. But that marriage made me really enjoy life. You know, post marriage, it made me sit down, buckle down, and say, "Hey, you need to not just work. You need to, you know, have fun." Because
Yeah,
everybody who knows me growing up, they know I'm a hard worker and I'm always about business. But uh, life is not just about work. Life is enjoying those moments with the people who's close to you, and then building those networks because tomorrow is not promised. You know, and I stay in a city to where you can die in the blink of an eye in Chicago.
oh yeah,
So
oh
you
yeah,
have to value every second, and I value that now.
yeah. I hear you, and it really parallels with my story too, going back because I feel like all I do, Patrick, is play catch up because during my drug addiction, that was 10 years that I was just in and out of everybody's life. So it
Mm-hmm.
was almost as if I was just missing for 10 years. I mean, I wasn't, but it felt like I was. So I feel like I lost so much time that I try to make up time. But I too, thanks to my dad, he instilled such hard work ethics in me that I'm one of those people that push the envelope. My plate's full all the time. My day is scheduled out almost to the minute. Like there is very, very little downtime for Misty to just take a breath and discover what I like or what I want to do because I'm so busy doing everything else. So I'm really glad that you're recognizing that at an earlier age because I'll be 53 Saturday and, I got a lot to make up for. And my kids, it's to the point where my oldest daughter, Lauren, actually called my boyfriend when I had my gallbladder surgery. And she's like, okay, how can we team up to get my mom to slow down? Because I'm really worried about her. She just had surgery and I can't even get her to stay in the bed. It's that bad. So, so I'm glad to hear that you've recognized and gone through that already in your life. And you've got all these years ahead of you to take your own advice, I guess, is what I was going to
Right.
say. And I want to go back too, because you also mentioned, what is that?
This is one of my bros. He's
Oh,
making a comment. It's in slang. So basically, what he's saying when
I
he
don't
found out
understand.
Shorty was doing grizzly,
What is,
basically when she was doing wrong.
oh, that's that means? Glizzies? Grizzlies?
I'm not gonna say what the ending means, but
Okay,
she was
let's just
doing
skip it.
wrong. We're gonna keep that family.
Well, thanks, Ricky, for being here. Anyway, we're learning all kinds of stuff on Dare to Share. Hey, I'm all right with it, man. Just keep it clean, keep it clean. All right. So let's go back because you said something earlier about the writing thing. And
Yeah.
I too, if you know my story, Patrick, because I know you followed the next impactor, I too have said writing saved my life. When I ended up in that prison and I thought my life was over, and me too, looking back now, I see so many blessings in the way that went. But I thought my life was over and I just was at the worst of the worst. And
Mm-hmm.
writing is the thing that was there for me. Writing is what I had that I could control and I could do, and I didn't need anybody else to help me do it. That was my saving grace. And I really want more people to learn to use writing as a tool, which is why I'm going to be doing my Right to Ignite Women's Empowerment retreats, which is all about using writing to discover your own empowerment. So, how has that writing and you understanding how that has impacted you? How have you used those skills now in your life, the writing?
Breaking different jokes down, writing different things. Like I'm working on a sitcom,
A sitcom.
It's about
Whoa.
mental health. I'm working on a sitcom. It's about mental
You
health.
don't get to just drop that and run. Hold on a minute now. Dang. You're working on writing a sitcom.
Yeah, it's in the works right now.
Okay, everybody, you got to put way to go, Patrick, in the comments. I mean, how many people do you know that you can say are writing a sitcom? Right? Type in the comments, way to go, Patrick. That's amazing, Patrick. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All
Yeah, the
right.
whole sitcom thing is about mental health and working in mental health, and it's actually a spin off The Office on how the workers. It would be from the worker standpoint and what they got to deal with and what they got to go through.
Oh wow!
But it's going to be like comedy and all of that, but also it's going to be having a message on every episode on how to deal with it.
So it's bringing awareness to the mental health world, basically.
Yeah, but from a comedy aspect.
That's amazing. And you do some writing for the comedians too, don't you? For their shows.
I wrote for a couple of comedians. We'll get down. We'll have writing sessions, and then they ask me, "Well, how did you put this joke together?" And then I write like something on the parallel based on split. The way I write my jokes, I write a line through the middle. I write current events on one side. I write the topic that I want to talk about on another side, and then I link those together. And then I play metaphors and tongue twisters to try to get a good joke out of it. So that's one of the styles I use to write a joke.
Is that something you developed?
No. This is something like majority of like Seinfeld and Eddie Murphy. They do those type of things when they writing jokes.
That's kind of cool. I've never heard of that before.
Just to stay relevant, because you got to talk about today's time, but also link it up to what happens in your time.
That's good. That's also showing you got to stay up and polished on your skills as well, right?
Yeah.
And learn how to grow with the profession. Yeah. That's awesome. That's really great. So here we go. You're writing a sitcom. So much to talk about, but we're going to roll it back a little bit more because we still want to talk about the part where you had said, you got to in financial ruin to the point where you're almost homeless, and then Hurricane Harvey hit. And I live in the Southeast Texas area. You were in Houston at the time. I actually have something to show on this. And Hurricane Harvey, you guys, it was devastating. I don't even know how to explain to you how bad it was for everyone down here. But I can show you this picture, and this picture.
I was 2 miles away from that. I'll stay right outside of Greens Point and right off of Sam Houston Parkway right there.
Yeah.
And I was right by Spring, and I was going towards the left, towards those homes and apartments over there, and I had my loft over there, and that was 2 miles away. If I was 2 miles inward, I would have been underwater. My car would have been underwater, and that would have been crazy.
So this picture, I mean, you don't even need words with a picture like that, right? You can use your mind and get creative and only imagine the devastation and the destruction that goes along with that. People's homes were completely underwater. They couldn't even go to their rooftops to wait for help because the rooftops were underwater. It just never stopped raining. It rained and rained and rained. So you lost everything, didn't you, Patrick?
At that point in time, yes and no. My complex was a little bit above, and at that point in time, I lost like my job at the time. The job went up and moved and didn't come back because of that. I had my car still and I had my apartment, but as far as financial stuff, that was all shot. Power was off. I lost food. I had one friend down there. 2 friends down there and a cousin who actually helped me out. They areas didn't get as flooded as mine, and I was able to go back and forth because my car was still working, and then I was getting food for them, and then we was all just talking about it, and we all grew a bond closer.
Mm-hmm. You have to. Yeah. You have to. And, that brings me to something I just want to mention. I don't want to turn this political by any means, but I do want to mention, because I did a lot of relief work during Hurricane Harvey. And down where I live, which is about an hour southeast of where this picture was from, you couldn't drive a car. Everything was done by boat. If your car wasn't underwater and you were lucky to have it, that's great, but you weren't going anywhere in it because you could drive, a quarter of a mile and you're soon underwater again. So, what I wanted to say is that, the country, the media tries to show how we're so divided in this country. But
Mm-hmm.
my personal experience during Hurricane Harvey was that it didn't matter race, religion, background, anything. We stood side by side
Side
as
by
human
side.
beings, just helping each other out. And there was nothing better in the world than to serve with other humans like that. And I couldn't have been
And
more
then
proud at that time. Couldn't have been more proud. Okay, so this flooding, Hurricane Harvey, let's talk about where you went from there, where that led you to, and how it changed things for you.
after Hurricane Harvey and losing a job or whatever, what happened was I ended up starting to do Uber. You know, I picked
Okay.
up Uber, trying to deliver food here and there, just catching little rides here and there, and that's how I got by. And then I ended up going to a temp agency to work, dead end jobs, because I believe a job is a job, long as you stay passionate about what you're trying to do. And then I had just got into comedy too at the time, so I was going out trying to do comedy again and take my mind off of it. Then I'm doing Uber to make sure I was okay, plus working at temp agency jobs, which Texas has a lot of temp agency jobs. I never not went longer than 2 weeks without a job there because of the temp services. And
Yeah.
I'm thankful that God put me in a position to move there so I won't be able to be homeless. Because when I tell you money got tight, and for like 3 months straight, it was like scares, and I was pinching pennies and then trying to rob Peter to, pay Paul. And
Yeah.
it was just a amazing experience as far as how I dug myself out, you know. That experience, I value that to this day. That allowed me to test myself and push myself financially, and that made me realize no matter what, I can turn nothing into anything.
That's great. That's great.
And then being from Chicago and seeing the atmosphere of the Southern hospitality and people working together, regardless of the color of your skin, that just
Mhm.
gave me motivational too. And
So
that's
you
why,
witnessed that too.
and that's one of the reasons why I want to move back there. Because I didn't really see racism too much in Hurricane Harvey when Hurricane Harvey happened.
Mm-mm.
It was mostly everybody was hand in hand and together, and I love that. Chicago is similar to everybody is in high school, and then you have your different cliques, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
everybody hangs with their clique. But in Houston, it's like everybody help everybody. You can be on the side of the road, broke down in
That's right.
Chicago, and people ride past you. In Houston, I broke down on the side of the road, a random person will come over and help me and make sure I'm good. So I just want to have my future family and stuff to experience that Southern hospitality so they won't be as, worse in the world. Because I know me, when I had kids, I'm going to spoil them. And when you spoil
Yeah.
kids, they become, rotten in the later years. But I
I
want
hear.
them to have that sense of stability and that sense of family and Southern hospitality.
That makes me proud to hear you say that because, I'm a Southern girl. I was born and raised down here. I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico for 20 years. That's where I went to school and stayed for a while. That's where my drug addiction started. But I'm so proud to be a Southern girl. Just so proud. Like you said, anybody, you stop on the side of the road, if you're broke down, so many people will help you. And you got to be scared. Being a female, I get worried who they are, but for the most part, they're just good old boys trying to help a damsel in distress,
Mm-hmm.
But you just said something, and I want to kind of touch on that a little bit. You said you want your future family to experience it. So let's talk about that, Patrick. You were left really angry. You were hurt by your divorce.
Right.
How has it been for you to be able to trust women again? Let's talk about trust issues. Do you have a problem with it?
I don't, because I learned how to trust myself. Once you learn how to love and trust yourself,
That's awesome.
you can love carelessly regardless of who come in your life or not. And then you're able to let that go too. If somebody want to leave out of your life, I mean, yeah, fight for it,
Bye
but
bye. Bye
bye
bye.
bye. I mean, our
Get going.
word, our path just wasn't meant to be. That's how I look at it. I don't have no animosity towards them. I don't even too much talk about the situation or what happened. Because normally I found myself in a pattern. I get mad, I get angry at the person for leaving or whatever. However, the relationship broke up, and then I vent, on Facebook or something. But I don't even do that now. I just keep
Yeah.
everything in and just wish them well. And I really wish them well. I really wish them the best. I really want them to win in life, you know?
Yeah. And I think that you nailed it when you said you don't have issues with it because you learn to trust yourself first. There are so many people, men and women both, and me being one of them, that have come out of a bad relationship and just, even though I tried not to, I carried it over into the next one. You say you're not going to, you say you're healed up and you've taken accountability for your part or whatever, but the truth is you never really are completely healed up from it. But taking ownership of it, I think, is so, so important. And taking the steps to actually love yourself. Like you said, you learn to trust yourself. You found yourself through your passions. You learn to love yourself. So the young lady that ends up wearing your ring will be a very, very, very blessed young lady, because I know you. I know who you are. I know what you're about. And I feel that you're a very patiently wise old soul. And I mean
Yeah,
that
I get that a lot.
I can feel the vibe from you that you're laid back, and you've always been really quiet, but when you speak, the most profound things come out with wisdom beyond your years and age. So how old are you, Patrick?
I'm 33.
33. See, that's very, very young. 33 is young. And you're 1 year older than my oldest daughter. You could be my son. But yeah, you're very wise beyond, your outlook on things. You have a very mature outlook. And like you said, going through those experiences early is what got you to where you are, and you're thankful for it. And I think that's awesome. Well, this is the part of the show where we're going to take a turn. I'm going to break from my commercial break for my sponsors, but I want you to really think about, I always ask my guests, Patrick, to think about a time in your life that maybe a dark time, maybe a time you're ashamed of, maybe a time you were fearful, maybe a secret you've never told anyone, or maybe not, just something vulnerable that you're emotionally going to tap into for us, that you're willing and daring to share, so that our audience today can learn from you, so they can gain wisdom, so they can learn from your courage by being transparent, because that's what it's all about. So I'm going to ask you to think about what you're willing to share with us and how it changed your life. And then when we come back from commercial break, I'm going to have you speak about it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Today's show is sponsored by Simple Changes from Wanda Reynolds. Make a simple change today for a healthier tomorrow with products like Simply Satisfy, which aids in gut digestion and curbs your appetite. Mental wellness is directly related to gut health, so keep a happy gut with Simply Satisfy. Then there's Simply Soothe. It helps relax your sore muscles and it supports your overall joint health. Simply Start is made from 100% organic hemp oil. It promotes your calmness, supports sleep, and maintains healthy joints. Contact Wanda Reynolds today through Facebook Messenger or at scdso.com/live life wonderfully. Health provides simple solutions to whole body health. To get and stay healthy, we offer Somaderm HGH Gel. Would you like to sleep like a baby and wake up rested? Do you want to feel maximum benefits from physical exercise? Do you want to burn through that afternoon slump with energy to last well into the night? Well, you can. And you may also experience 25 other whole body improvements with the gel. It's effective, safe, FDA registered, and very affordable. Diane has immuno boosters and keto support products too. Contact Diane Chasik at lifesmilehealth.com or text lifestyle to 64600 today. All right, Patrick. Thank you so much again for being here. Thank you for stepping up to be that one.
No problem.
So go ahead, and I had asked you before the break to share with us a moment in time that maybe pivoted your life, of a vulnerable moment that you're daring to share with the audience today to show your courage and your strength. Okay. What would that be today?
Mine would be near-death experience.
Near death. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I had a couple of near-death experiences, not just one. And my first near-death experience was, I was a teenager. Somebody got shot like right by me, and that could have been me. And a person walked up in Chicago and, shot him and aired him out. And that wasn't even the person that they really was looking for. They was looking for that person's cousin,
Oh
So
my
since they couldn't find his cousin, they found him. And I was so happy to be going to trying to go hoop with him, and that's what happened. And I was just like, damn. It's one of those shockers. I was like, damn. And what happened was I didn't come outside for a minute, my whole end of sophomore, junior year, I always tell my friend Keymon, James, like he saved my life based on pushing me to do certain things, like far as being active on school grounds, getting involved into like school activities and stuff like that. I was more standoffish, not trying to be around people at that time in my life because of that situation. And when he pushed me towards doing that, I opened my eyes up and said, hey, I got to live. I can't just be, scared about stuff like that. I have another near-death experience, which happened when I actually was driving to work in Houston, Dodge Durango. I'm driving to work. My whole car caught on fire.
Oh my God.
I'm on Highway 10, trying to go, to work. I get to the side of the highway. My car just flame up because I saw flames coming out off the hood. I'm like, dang, what's going on? So I pulled over to the side. Thank God it didn't happen. I opened the hood up to try to see what was what, and everything just took off in flames. Then the police and everything came. I was calling my wife at the time, like, man, I don't know what's going on. The car caught on fire, but that could have been me, That's another situation where it could have been me. And I'm saying all of this to say those situations made me value life more, to the point to where you can kind of see why I ended up being serious, versus trying to live life. I became serious and I get a lot of stuff done. I'm focused. Like if I have something that I want to do and I want to get done, I channel into it and I'm focused enough to do it and get it done, because tomorrow's not promised. But I had to learn based on those situations too. Yeah, tomorrow's not promised. Work hard, but you also have to live your life.
Yeah. And like you said, I think that you are serious because you learned early not to take things for granted. Before a job, money, like you said, after being nearly homeless, you learned to really appreciate the things you had, right?
Man.
And relationships. After losing love, you learn to appreciate and how to nurture and how to prioritize and how to change things to make it better, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of us take things for granted like that, especially time.
Yeah.
Because I always say, Patrick, on September 18th, 2007, I didn't start that day saying or knowing I was going to kill somebody. And I didn't know what my future was. We don't know what's around that corner. We have to cherish that time because we don't know how much of it we have left. Nobody knows. So kudos to you, man. And thank God you had a friend that pulled you out of that funk and that fear, to get you back out again. And because you can't live in a bubble. You can't walk around like this whole COVID thing. We're all in a bubble anyway. But I mean, you can't live your life completely in fear. You just can't do it. You have to take chances, and you have. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So let's talk about how taking those chances have paid off for you. So now you're a known stand-up comedian. You're writing comedy for other comedians. You're a mental health worker doing great work there. And tell us about this, what you're allowed to tell us about this movie, because you're also in a superhero movie, aren't you?
Yeah. The movie is called Prayer. The producer's named George Burke.
Prayer?
He's a phenomenal. Yeah, it's called Prayer. It's a superhero movie. It's Chicago based on stopping the crime in Chicago. What I can tell you is I am the foreman in that movie / bad guy. So I play those two roles. And I thank God for blessing me with that opportunity. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal movie because it's going to shed light on, crime in Chicago, but also with a superhero aspect of it, So we're really pushing to get that through. And I cannot wait. I think that movie is going to be phenomenal.
So when is that movie supposed to be released? Do you know?
Due to COVID, our push was going to be possibly next year. But due to COVID, we don't know.
You don't
And
know.
then they talking about it's going to be another hit, you know. So we're just on pins and needles right now.
Yeah, it's we don't know what's happening. Some people say as soon as November 5th hits, coronavirus will be gone.
I hope so.
You
I
know, they
hope
all
so.
think it's a scam and whatever, but you know, I work in the hospital. I see people with it. I see people dying from it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, hey, look, what I say is, regardless of where it came from, who engineered it, who's behind it, what the motive is, or why, regardless of any of that, it's here and it's killing people.
Yeah,
And that, as
in
a healthcare
droves.
worker, that's where my focus is on that end of it. All right. So you've got a lot of great things going on, Patrick, and your wisdom is so refreshing. Because I want to say kid, not in disrespect, but because I've got kids your age, you know, I look at young kids like you, and there's so many that don't even have direction. They're just spinning around, and it's not even their fault. It's just the system has failed certain generations. The system failed them, and
Yeah.
they were taught growing up in school, everybody got a trophy. They never learned what it was to fight and compete to be better, to push themselves to be better. It was that very lackadaisical, oh, the world is beautiful, da 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 da. Everybody's treated, you don't have to work for anything. And to see that you've pushed through that, because I consider that a barrier, to see you've pushed through that barrier and learned that hard work does pay off. Passion is important, it's refreshing, because I see so many your age of just like, I want to call them like little drones, just little robots that just kind of exist. I'm being honest, I'm being transparent. They just kind of exist, and they go to their job and they do the minimum, and they think that's enough. They never want more. They're just happy and complacent in their minimum wage job and never even have a desire for more. And that just, it upsets me because it makes me sad for them. I'm such a competitive person, which from the impactor, that I just, man, I can't imagine a life like that. And then some say, it's a better life because you're stress free. But whatever, it's refreshing for me to talk to someone like you. Let me just reword that whole thing.
Thank you.
All right. So Jana Gunstream says a lot of wisdom and experience. Patty May says, oh my goodness, 33 is your year. Think of Jesus.
I'm not Jesus, but that was funny, Patty.
L. Patrick says Patrick needs to get him some daughters like Patrick Dickerson and myself. That's when the real learning begins. That's right. That's right. There's a funny story, you guys, about Patrick Dickerson, because there's an L. Patrick Dickerson, which I love and adore. His whole family, I love them all. And then there's another Patrick Dickerson, I think, on the West Coast. There's three of y'all.
Yeah, it's three of us.
There's
one
three
in Cali, one in Carolinas, and then me. I'm Midwest. So we on every parts of the United States. He's on the East Coast. I'm on the Central, and then the other Patrick's on the West Coast.
I wonder if there's any other Misty Jingos out there. Probably not.
It might be. It might be.
Start a club, damn it. Start our own club. All right. Well deserved, Patrick. Give me trophy syndrome. I'm sorry, Jana. All right. Well, Patrick, man, it's been amazing having you on here. If we're in the Chicago area, how do we come see your stand-up comedy? How can we find you? Is there anything online we can watch or support you with?
For right now, everything's been mostly slow and open mics, and shows haven't really been booked as of late like that because of Corona. But I'm starting to try to travel again. I did comedy in St. Louis, college shows and stuff before. Everything slowed up when Corona hit, but hopefully with my connections and stuff, and I've been talking to some people, I can start hitting the road again. And that's where I like doing comedy the most, outside of my element, because I get to go to other places like St. Louis and then try to do a set and kill a set, and we got so different views on life. But for me to bring everybody together through my, experience and make them laugh, that's a blessing. Or going to, Ohio, it's a different way of life and thinking. And then killing the set out there. Just being from Chicago and going over all different places and just traveling to do comedy is good. But I do love doing comedy in my own city. Chicago is like, to me, it's the top. And then next is Houston, because I started comedy in Houston. And then New York for me. Um, and that's why I love doing it. It's competitive. My comedy family in both cities, Houston and Chicago, is dope, phenomenal talent. And I'm just blessed to just soak up all this game and knowledge from them, and then internalize it into my own path and on craft, and just do it the way I need to do it.
Yeah.
But shows probably most likely will starting to be posted on my fan page, Patman220 Comedy, probably this fall. And I'm gonna be pushing hard. I got a couple of skits that I got edited, but I didn't put it out yet. But I'm gonna start putting them out when Corona starts, down and stuff start opening it up again. Because it's been chaotic here. It's been riots. It's been shut down. City's been locked down, and we just had another riot the other day. So it's like the looting and stuff is stopping a lot of stuff.
A lot of things. They've had some really crazy weather blow through too. That's uncharacteristic for Chicago.
Yes.
It's like the whole world's upside down right now. Mm-hmm. Thank God for people like you that can keep us laughing, right?
Yeah, because we definitely need to laugh at these times.
Why you don't start an online comedy club? People can pay admission to get on and visit and have a string of comedians, because we need to laugh, man.
You know what? I thought about that, but it's not the same as going to the audience and doing your comedy when we're face to face. It's a better interaction that way.
I guess
so. I rather do comedy skits online and then do comedy outside or in a theater or something like that when I'm being more personal with people.
There you go. That's right. Wow. All right, Patrick, man, it's been really awesome having you here. I can't thank you enough for coming in and just being transparent with us about everything. I do have a question for you before you go. Do you have a girlfriend?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Okay.
No.
You hear that, ladies? So you already know he's wise. You know he's got tons of value. You know he's inspirational. You know he's motivated. So there you go, ladies. He's single. I'm gonna turn this into a what do you call them? A dating service.
A dating service.
I'm gonna get all my single guests and hook y'all up.
This is not Crystal Mingle.
Crystal Mingle. Oh wow. All right, Patrick, man, thank you so much. I do love and adore you, and hopefully I can see you again soon when travel lifts up and we'll be able to hit another event together. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I love you too. And congratulations to you for all your accomplishments, the book and everything, and etc. So that's really a blessing too for me to be able to be linking up with you and other like-minded people to keep me motivated and keep going, because you guys motivate me. When I see you guys going in those moments where I feel like, okay, enough, I don't want to do it no more, you got to have those people in your circle to gravitate towards. And you are one of those people. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Patrick. I learned that early on about proximity. They say you're the sum of the 5 closest people to you. It's like you don't want to play tennis with someone that's at the same level as you. You'll never get better. You want to always play with someone that's better, because they're going to push you to be better too, right? So thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I am really excited because I was nominated to be on the cover of Vicky Omofolaji's The Global Achiever magazine out of Australia. I was really surprised by that. Not top 3 nomination, and I'm up against 2 amazing people. But Dr. Sophia, I know her. She's interviewed me before. She's a beautiful, amazing soul. It's a really close race. I'm a little bit nervous, I have to say, because she's got a lot of great people out there pulling for her. So you can support me if you like what I'm doing and you like the message that I'm trying to get out in the world about transparency and encouraging others to step up and share their truth. And support me by voting, and just go to my page. There's a link there that you just put the number 1 for Mistie Layne. I'd appreciate that. All right, Patrick. Well, I have to say goodbye to you, and have have you again. Have you come on again maybe next year after your movie comes out, and we can talk about that. Okay. And thanks for motivating people. And also, thank you for being a mental health worker. There's not a lot of people that step into that role that have a passion for it. And it's obvious that you do, or you wouldn't be trying
Hmm.
to create this sitcom around it because you know
Right.
the importance of awareness. So thank you for that. That's got to be tough, like mentally challenging, right? To have to come home and decompress from that.
Yeah, it's tough. Dealing with the nuances of mental health is always tough, and it's one of those scenarios to where people throw that situation in the back burner, and they don't know how important it is. And I'm one of the people that I want to bring it to the forefront.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, good luck with everything you're doing. All right,
Thank you.
Patrick, we love you, man. We
All right,
love
love
you.
you too.
All right, bye bye.
All right, Mister.
All right, you guys. So that was Patrick Dickerson. He's just a great guy. He's such an inspiration. Um, man, thank you for being here to support him. But I want to talk to you about how you, like he said, you got to find your passion. So many of us just live life and go through our everyday routine, and we do just the bare minimum to get by, and that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. But are you living passionately? Um, do you wake up in the morning with that attitude? Oh my gosh, I don't want to go to my job, and you're already saying in your head, I hate that job. Or do you wake up and look forward to the great things you can do with your job? Look at that area in your life and see if you're lacking passion, and if you are, start finding creative ways to discover what your true passion is. um, like Patrick said, he just had to get out there and discover who he was. And he just started going around and finding things to do. And I think he said he talked with his mom. She helped him out a little bit, but join some clubs. Um, I know with COVID it's hard, but there's all kinds of things online you can do. Join some hobby, get some hobbies going, and just kind of start mixing with different crowds that you don't normally run with, and see where that takes you, see where your heartstrings get tugged at. And then if you find something that interests you and you feel passionate about, then by all means pursue it. Hashtag be that one, and step up and have the courage to make a change in your life, to run for the passion, fight for the passion. It's important. Um, I feel that you can't waste any more time. I can't say it enough that we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And we need to be the best we can be every day when we wake up, not just for us to live our own fulfilling life, but for our kids and the legacy that we're going to leave behind, right? Because we have to show them by example. Um, and being stagnant, I don't think is good for anyone. It's not good for the environment. It's not good in relationships. It's not good for your kids. It's not good for your health. It's not good for anything. So break through the stagnation, you guys, and go find something that you're passionate about, something that you love. I want to thank you for being here with me every Tuesday and Thursday at 6. I really appreciate the following that's coming on, all my regulars. I love you all so much. I'm not going to name them all right now. There's so many on here. I mean, y'all know who you are, though. But you're here week after week, and I can't thank you enough for that. And if you want to be a sponsor, or you know someone that'd be interested in sponsoring the show, I'd really appreciate that. Send them my way. They can email me or get in touch with me anyway through social media. I can tell you I am currently I've already hired someone to redo my website. So I've got some exciting things coming up on there. I'm going to be putting a Next Impactor tab on my website with a lot of information from the Impactor. It's better late than never, I know. And then I'm going to have my Right to Ignite Women's Empowerment Retreat. I'm going to have a tab for that with all the new upcoming stuff. As soon as we're released from the COVID travel restrictions, that's going to kick off. Hopefully, I'm targeting the first quarter of 2021 for my first live on-site retreat. And then we're going to have all kinds of different things going on in there. But I'm also in the middle of starting to create my online courses. So that's something new and exciting as well. There's going to be 3 tiers of courses. The first one will be free. Then we're going to do one course will be around my 4-step Cope equals hope method. And then we're going to have a much more deeper 6-module course around all the things that you can do and how writing can tap into that passion and release toxic shame and guilt. All right, you guys, that's it for tonight. I just appreciate you so much. And Saturday's my birthday. So I'm so blessed that after dragging my kids through hell and back and putting them through so much, that today I have a loving and beautiful and wonderful relationship, unique with each one. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to cry. Uh, Unique with each one. I'm so blessed that my kids know forgiveness in their heart and that I have relationships with them and that they choose to spend time with their mama. So this weekend for my birthday, we're all, me and all three of my kids and my boyfriend, we're all going camping together in the RV to a lake. We're going to just enjoy some time and swim and hang out and play games and roast marshmallows and do all the fun family stuff that I love to do. So you just keep us in our prayers. Keep us in your prayers over the weekend for travel safety, if you would. And I will be 53 on Saturday. If you haven't voted for me yet on the next for the Global Achievers cover of the magazine, there's 3 of us in the running right now for the finalists. Please vote. You can find that link on my page. It's all over the place. And it's the one from Vicky for Global Achievers. She says, vote 1 for Misty, 2 for Daryl, and 3 for Sophie. So just please drop a 1 in the comments and vote for me, so we can together we can try to get transparency out as a game changer in the world. All right, you guys, I love you all so much. Thanks again for being here. And that's it for tonight. Mistie Layne out. Good evening.